even seem to care. He just used his own mortar half-track to counter kind of the mortar, and the mortar half-track can stay there and shooting at the American mortar all day long, taking almost no damage. And lo and behold, the Peopler actually did take into account the possibility of the American player going for a heavier form of armor, and he already has his first Marder 3 on the field, and that of course Marder 3 in combination with the light half-track can prove devastating for a single piece of American armor, since of course it's the usual combo of the Threadbreaker as well as the shots from the Marder. Sniper having to retreat, fighting against some Falsimiages in the south of the map at really low health, however, close to going down. HMG, however, stands its ground and will force a retreat on those Falsimiages. And once again, Peopler reinforcing his position on the middle, now even with that Marder, and of course the usual mortar and a couple of Pigrins there. And American player really does not even bother with the middle. He knows that it will be difficult to break, and if he didn't know up to now, he surely does know after those two last failed engagements. So he uses his Sherman that he got out of his tank depot and moves it to the east portion of the map. Probably he's gonna use that to either try to hold down that territory there, and use it later attempting a flank in the middle, or he will just go straight for the B-player's base, which is something that wouldn't be surprising, since the American player does know that the B-player is really invested in holding down the middle of the map, and that a large portion of his units will be there. However, those Pigrins have caught a glimpse of the Sherman, and now that that actually results in an immediate response by the Peopler. He tries to move his Marder as well as his 80 half-track where the Sherman is. However, as I said and as I predicted, because I'm a psychic, he is going directly for the Peopler's base. However, he has been found out now, the American player that is, and I'm not sure how effective that Sherman will be. However, the Marder seems to have some trouble trying to maneuver the middle of the map. He seems to be caught up in a pathing issue with some Pigrins around. Light 80 half-track, however, more fortunate that the Marder has already made its way towards the Peopler's base. Some tank traps even being laid down by some American engineers. Tank traps, of course, work both ways, as far as both the American vehicles as well as the P vehicles are concerned. So I'm not sure what he was trying to do there. Most probably he was trying to force a response by the P-player and then block him out and move into the middle, which is exactly what happened now. Sherman, however, Marder is still around, trying still to maneuver through walls and buildings. Pathing can be a pain to deal with at some moments, and there you go. Pigman squad trying to move out of the church, goes down to the Sherman, and that Sherman has been really a very big annoyance for the Peopler, running around the map, causing reactions that the Peopler most probably didn't want to happen in the first place. And now the Peopler may be even losing the middle. However, there is this light 80 half-track that moves up, takes a shot, using a Threadbreaker on the Sherman. However, that particular angle is a kind of a weird angle, to be honest. Now the Marder moves in, most probably will have sight. No, it does not have sight of the Sherman. The Sherman did not get immobilized, it just got a damaged engine, and now even with veterans level 1, that Marder cannot actually, does not have line of sight of the Sherman. And Marder trying to circle strafe the Sherman, yeah, that will be a feat if he manages to do that. And we even have an M10 now out on the field. We have some engineers closing in on the position of the Sherman, most probably to repair it immediately. And that Marder, that single Marder, is not going to be enough, especially if those riflemen have their sticky upgrades and use it to kind of slow down the martyr. Maybe that is not even necessary, since there is the M10 on the field, sniper actually reigning supreme, a P player not paying attention, losing an MP44 equipped Pigrun squad, and now the Sherman is getting repaired, is not going to go down. However, the martyr is going to go down pretty quickly to the M10 and the Sherman fire. Martyr, of course, still being in range of the Sherman. And that actually did not seem to be working out for the P player at all, even losing a Falsimiaga squad to the fire of the American mortar, now with 3 kills, and American engineers still unhurt, still repairing the Sherman. However, the damage then will take a while for it to be repaired. However, American sniper goes down on the retreat to those G43 equipped Piguns and those 2 Falsimiagas. They will even have some suppressive volley ability by the G43 squad being used there to slow down the sniper a bit and to kill him on the retreat. That, however, was a minor win for the P player. His main concern is that he will be losing the FHQ in the middle, since those riflemen will be there soon, and he doesn't really have a very solid response against an M4 Sherman with veterans even, and an M10. He may be going for the Panther battle group, however. I mean, he does have both his Kampfgruppe Kompanie, the Panzerjäger command and the Panzer Support command all built. He did have a very solid hold of the middle of the map. His fuel investments were primarily 1 Panzerjäger command, a couple of AT half-tracks, and the mortar half-track, not much of a fuel investment. He may have been saving that fuel for the upgrades, and having seen, of course, that heavy armor by the American player, he thought, of course, let's go for the Panther battle group. It's something that the P players are actually employing quite frequently in this particular matchup, and we'll have to wait to see how that turns out. His infantry presence on the field is kind of dodgy at the moment. A couple of Falsimiaga squads and the single G43 squad. However, American player equally low on on fighting infantry squads. Just a couple of riflemen and some engineers with flamers. Not really that much of a deal for the Falsimiagas to cope with. Mortar half-track and light half-track, of course, still on the field, and Calliope, of course, made its way to the field for the American player. First barrage manages to force a retreat on some of those Piguans, and now we have the usual transition of people trying to take back control of the map, however hitting mines in his attempt to do so. Mines, of course, that whenever you lose a territory and you try to take it back are always a possibility. Then there you go, Panther battle group coming into play for the P player here, and they will have to deal with a single M10 and an M4 Sherman and a Calliope that may or may not prove deadly against those Panthers. The thing that is for certain, though, is that the M10 has been immobilized. There are no engineers. Actually, there is a squad of engineers trying to make their way there and repair the M10. However, the Panthers may be there before the engineers are, and if that M10 goes down, that Vet1 M10, nonetheless, P player will be in a good position, since the single Sherman will be no match for those 2 Panthers. And of course, here comes the focus fire of the M10 by the Panthers. Quickly goes down. Sherman, of course, being actually Allied war machine at the last second by the American player, refunds the loss of the M10, and that actually is good for him. However, experience still goes in favor of the Panthers whenever they kill a unit, even if, of course, they are under the effect of the Allied war machine. However, at this moment they choose not to kill the Sherman. They attack ground. Sherman tries to move away, won't make it, however, and will be going down to the Panthers. Panthers took a Calliope barrage in the process, but they're still pretty good at health, standing at half health hits. both with their veterancy icon flashing over them, and the P-player actually chooses to go for the defensive on one of them. Still hasn't decided what he'll be doing with the other one. But in the process, in the process of the P-player waiting for those Panthers to come out, the American player had all the time he needed, of course, to take back a large portion of the map. And now at the 27-minute, 31, 32, 33 second mark, he still has a very, very solid control of the map, and the P-player is actually scrambling to take some resource sectors back. And his Panthers are good, but when they are into sticky range of those riflemen, they are not going to be that great. And we even have two M10s now in the field. One of them, of course, the refunded one from the Allied war machine in the previous engagement. The other one just built by the tank depot. And now there may be a case of a Panther going down. It will be close, however, it most probably certainly go down due to the stickies. We even have the M10 going down. The other M10 is not... Actually, it is immobilized. However, the Panther is equally in the bad shape, damage-wise, on his engine. It will be a close fight here as well. Rifleman, however, still nearby, will be trying to help the M10 the best way they can. Sticky goes off, immobilized Panther. M10 goes down, but I would trade an M10 for a Panther any day of the week, and I'm guessing this is exactly what the American player is thinking right now. Very, very low infantry squad count for both these players. Now here comes the Calliope barrage to finish off the Panther. A veterans level 1 for the Calliope, reducing of course its cooldown, making it so that it can prevent or even kill units of the P-player rather faster than before. And in the meantime, we had the HMG team of the American player going down to the mortar in the east portion of the map, but still the issue of how the issue remains of how the P-player is going to take back control of the map. He tries to do so with any unit of infantry that he has, and that is of course a single picture squad and two fast Miagas. Mortar still around, light duty half-track managing to take a shot with a Threadbreaker or that M10 tank destroyer. Engineers are nearby, however. Second Panther battle group on the field, however. And all that manpower of the P-player going into tanks, of course, it's necessary because there is that tank depot out by the American player. There is, of course, the possibility of a Pershing coming out eventually, so he does need those Panthers. However, he does need also some infantry units, and in order to take back control of the map. And here we go. Seems that the M10 has been repaired, make its way to the north, trying to avoid the Panthers. Panthers do not seem to be paying attention as well. One of them actually tried to kill the Jeep, maybe. We'll find out soon. However, now they have spotted the M10. The M10 was immobilized by a Threadbreaker shot by the light half-track. M10 will be going down. However, in the process, P-player does not pay attention, loses the veterans level 1 offensive mortar half-track, so that will set him back as far as his ability to deal with the American infantry goes. And although Panthers do reign supreme on the field as far as AT goes, anti-infantry wise and infantry force wise, the P-player is significantly behind. Now there are 3 rifleman squads out for the American player. There are still those 2 flamer equipped engineers. There are mines being laid down everywhere, and those 2 Panthers, yes, they're good, but they cannot cap points, and points actually may be something that the P-player will be striving for in the next minutes of the game. Currently at the 31-minute 31, 32, 33 second mark. He is currently at 93 victory points and counting down, the American player having control of all the victory points of the map. And as I said before, Panthers are good, but they are not that good because they cannot cap anything. And we may even see one of them going down, provided of course those riflemen sticky. The Panther and the M10 comes to finish it off. There's still the Calliope in the back at veterans level 2 even now, so that Calliope is gonna be a menacing force for the scan the PE infantry, and here come the barrage targeting the center of the map. Panther goes down to the stickies. No, it goes down to the M10. Veterans level 1 once again for the M10. Calliope barrage surprisingly not that effective, but maybe not so surprisingly. After all, due to its long range, however, M10 gets sloppy. Gets into the range of light 80 half-track, gets a damage engine, light 80 half-track down, and those exchanges actually favor the American player at the moment. So I wouldn't feel bad for him, even if he lost this M10 as well. I mean, he does have the manpower, he does have the fuel income to reinforce the M10 and his anti-tank force. He does have the victory point situation favoring him heavily, which means that he can afford to lose some things, and the P player cannot really solidify a position. He just has to go for the victory points themselves. As we see here, for example, he did have to divert one of his Fallschirmjägers to the western portion of the map, trying to cap the victory point there. He does not have a fighting force of infantry that will allow him to get and hold the territory without worrying about the VPs. And at this moment of the game, as I said, American player really feeling comfortable with trading M10s for Shermans and light AT half-tracks. We even have a Wirbelwind now on the field. Of course, P player realizing that his anti-infantry force is not really something to be reckoned with by the American player, and he will be using that Wirbelwind, of course, to try to put some pressure, as much pressure, of course, as he can on the American infantry. Tons of miles being laid down by the American player in the west, in the eastmost victory point, and those Pigrants are going to be in for a surprise rather shortly. Another M10 out by the American player, and that's of course what he is going to be doing from now on, using his riflemen that he already has on the field, using the Calliope for the occasional barrage, and trying to trade them M10s and stickies and munitions for Panthers. And if he manages to do that, he will be just fine. Here we even saw some Pigrants hitting the mine in this most victory point, having to retreat. Some Luftwaffe squads also on the field will most probably use for repairs, or even in an attempt by the P player to cap VPs and resource sectors. However, damaged engine Panther will be most probably falling prey to the circle strafing M10, or even the stickies of those riflemen in close range. When we are tapping the stick, M10 gets out of there, will most probably be repaired. Now the Wirbelwind is making an attempt to stop those riflemen. Does a good job of that. However, American player still has 2 victory points in his control, 19 victory points only for the P player, and Vetu Calliope is still around, Flamer is still around, 3 squads of riflemen with bars still around, and this game will most probably end in the next minute or so. Now even 3 victory points in the hands of the American player, and yes, there is no way this game is over, and we'll be seeing it being completed right now. So there you go. It was a P versus US matchup on Semois. Interesting stuff by the P player, using that church to try to hold the center of the map, trying to put the pressure on the American player right outside of his base. Kind of some weird choices tech-wise by the American player, going bars and WC, but still managing to hold off the P player, still managing to hold down his fuel to the south and the medium fuel point to the eastern portion of the map, trying to harass in the periphery of the P player's position, getting the fuel that he needed in order to take up to a tank depot without taking much of a manpower damage in the process of doing so, and eventually coming out victorious VP wise. And of course VP are correlated with a map control that he took after he managed to push the P player out of the center of the map, and of course his first Sherman playing a very crucial role in doing so, using the map to his advantage, going for the base at first, causing a response by the P player, pulling off his marder and his light half from the middle of the map, and then just going back into the middle of the map, taking care of the infantry there, of the peopler, and using the church to try to cause the marder to get in position that was really ineffective. And by the time all that happened, he already had the resources to get the M10 out. And once that marder went down and the middle was lost for the peopler, it was an uphill battle for him after that engagement. And I would say that to close this up, Panthers could have been used a little bit more better for the peopler. He did allow them to be stigged multiple times by those riflemen, and it didn't actually pay off for him, because they just then fell prey to the M10s that could actually be kind of quote unquote spammed by the American player, and he kept trading M10s and stickies for Panthers, which actually was beneficial for him. So yeah, that is the game. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you have been enjoying the new patch for the game, and that was all. Armageddon out.